Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I've been reading lots of articles, folks, and an overwhelming majority of these articles continue to circle back, in the words of one sarcastically genius individual in the flashbang regime. They keep circling back to the subject of inflation. And one article that I'm looking at right now says that inflation has sped up again in January, vaulting to a fresh 40-year high. Now, I will tell you, inflation has increased rapidly in the month of January, but let me just simply tell you this. It is not at a 40-year high. It's at an all-time high. Now, this has biblical implications, and I'll talk about that in a second. The reason why I disagree with the fact that it's at a 40-year high, because the way that they are measuring inflation is completely broken. It's actually corrupt. You see, the flashbang regime chooses to point out items that haven't really increased in price because there's been no real demand. So, for example, what they'll say is oh yeah, if someone wants to buy some squid at $10 a pound, well, there hasn't been much inflation. We've only seen a 7% increase in that because, it's a little harder to get, but it's not that big of a deal. When they're ignoring the fact that chicken that used to cost you $2 a pound now costs you $18 a pound. And that's the problem that we're dealing with these liars in politics that continue to draw a picture that they say is not as grim as it actually is. The bottom line is this, folks. The kind of inflation that we are seeing is so record high that if we had not had the kind of stop gaps put in place to prevent the kind of crashing that could happen during a time like this, we would be in a time far worse than the Great Depression that everybody reads about and learns about. As a matter of fact, the definition for recession, we are far past that. We are getting to a point where things are so unbelievably crazy that the manifestation of the result of this type of artificial inflation is going to create an explosion of sorts that is going to eliminate cash from society. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, think of it like this. 40 to 60% of all dollar bills that have been printed in the history of the existence of U.S. currency has been printed within the last year. Now, don't think that I'm trying to blame flashbang for all of this, because a lot of this was going on during the Trump era. Believe it or not, it was. But the rate of inflation can be solely blamed on the current regime because they have done everything they can to artificially raise these numbers to destroy the economy as we know it. You want to know why? Because they're hardcore globalists who want to see the beginning of the New World Order, and what they want to do in order to achieve that is eliminate cash and its fiat capacity, because what they want is a cashless society. And that's interesting because that's exactly what the Antichrist wants. Folks, we are rapidly headed towards Revelation 13, and it is time to get our affairs in order. If you are not walking with God, you need to walk with God, because this stuff is no joke. We are coming to a rapid change, and that is going to culminate to a time where the Lord is going to come for the church. And make no mistake about it, folks, Jesus is coming a lot sooner than any of us think. So it's time to get it right. Put things in order. Understand the signs that we are watching. Jesus is coming soon. And know this. Know that God wants you to get right with him. So much so that he made everything available to you to be able to do that, especially by allowing his son, demanding that his son be crucified so that we can have the ability to find salvation because of his burial and resurrection. Let me just tell you this. We have every open door made available to us to receive him, and it's time to get right with him. There's nothing else to say. We're running out of time, folks. God bless you.